Hello, everybody. Hero77 here, and welcome back to yet another possible Mandela Effect. Now, Sandy Diva did a poll a couple weeks ago. I think it was maybe a week and a half ago. I'm not sure. But as you can see in the title and in the thumbnail, this is a Porky's Mandela Effect. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the movie Porky's, well, the entire Porky's series for that matter, aren't going to be affected by this whatsoever one bit. Like, you're not going to remember it. If you haven't seen the movie in a while and you do have a memory of this might affect you, or this might just be one of my personal Mandela effects. Now, in the movie Porky's, as I'm about to bring up here on the screen, the movie Porky's. Let's see here. Oh, okay, in the movie Porky's, as you can see here, this picture, you know the scene. What happened? No, you see, they're there at the shop, the diner or whatever, and Meat's there. He's eating chili. You can see his face is covered in it. Now he is drunk, and he's been drinking. Because he didn't get into Princeton or something of that nature. Now I can't click on this because if I do, it takes me to something completely different. But in the movie Porky's, Meat gets drunk, and of course, if I look up Porky's and Meat, I get all kinds of like meat images. But here's the actor Meat right here, and when I click on, for some reason, it doesn't let me click the image and make it bigger. Okay, here we go. We're going here. No, that's a drink. All right, I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, let's click on view image. There we go. That's how you do it now. This is set up differently. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, you can see his face is clearly covered in chili. Now, when I was a kid growing up, I would watch these movies all the time. These were my favorite movies, um, for obvious reasons. These were sex exploitation films, sort of in a way, but not really because they were mainstream. They weren't B movies, or they weren't considered B movies at the time, and they're still not. They're more mainstream. So there was nudity in there, and of course the shower scenes were epic. Like, who could forget the shower scenes? But this one particular scene, something to me has changed, and I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. If you can remember this scene, he's drunk, he's eating the chili, and the reason why I remember this scene so well, this one particular scene, is something really gross happens, and it stood out in my mind for years. And it reminds me of the scene in the, what was it, the Sandlot? Was it the Sandlot, or there was some other scene where something very disgusting happened? I think it was the Sandlot. There was one in the Sandlot, and there was one in, I think, Stand By Me, where there was some gross out scenes. And these are gross out movies. These are, the Porky movies came before, way before American Pie. These came out in the 80s. And then, of course, the American Pie movies came out in the early 2000s. And but Porky's was the original gross out comedies of that time. And of course, I guess there was Animal House. I guess that might have been one of the first ones. Um, but this is the most remembered one. These series of movies, all three of them, they remind me so much of the American Pie movies. And anyway, um, it stood out in my mind. This one scene stood out in my mind so much because it grossed me out so much. And every time it came up, I always cringed of having to watch it. And I would always either turn my head or, close my eyes or something. I did not want to see it. And now the scene is mild. Like there's nothing that really happens at all. But let me give you just a minute here to think of what happens, and then I'll tell you what the Mandela effect for me is. So, okay, let's see here. Give you a minute. Let's 12:20. When that clock says 12:21, I'll go ahead and give away what the Mandela effect is here. So we'll give you a whole minute. And there we go. Okay, so now in the scene originally, as I remember seeing this as a child, and the reason why it stuck out to me so much is it was so gross. I remember he's drunk, and then he pukes all over the chili, and then his face fill in the chili, and that made it double gross. And it seemed like there was another scene from another Porky's movie where somebody pukes, and then it starts a chain reaction where one pukes, and then another one pukes, and another one pukes. But I think that was a scene in Stand By Me where they were having the pie eating contest, and he was telling the story about them puking and the pie and stuff like that. And that always reminded me of Porky's, that scene in Stand By Me. And then there was, of course, the scene in the Sandlot where they all puked going on the carnival rides because they were swallowing chewing tobacco. They were trying chewing tobacco, and they all. Anyway, if you remember him puking in his chili, and I know this is kind of gross, but please say so in the comments. If you remember the scene exactly how it plays out, which I'm about to show you here in a minute, then let me know that in the comments as well. So here's the scene, exactly how it plays out. Hold on. Plays out in the movie.
Well, he doesn't. But he just found out today he got turned down by Prince. Prince sucks.
Okay, right there, you hear that noise he makes. He makes like a almost like a barfing sound.
Give me some sugar from the other counter.
That boy been drinking?
No, sir, officering Anthony around. Oh, feel better now, huh?
And this right here is the grossest thing that happens, is you see his face.
Didn't know how to fill out the forms on that. Yeah, you're right. It'd be a lot of hassle. I guess we better save him. Yeah, I guess we better.
Ugh, that is gross enough.
I'm not a doctor, but
Officer, excuse me, but I couldn't help but notice what.
But see, if you look at that, that is the grossest thing that happens to him. There is no barf. There is no barf and then falling face first into his chili. It's just him falling face first in his chili, being drunk. But you hear the sounds that he's making just beforehand. And he spits it out and then falls face first into the chili. So I don't know. And as I fast forward this, as you can see, nothing else happens. Cops leave, and then they get into that fight or whatever, and then that's the end of the scene. There's nothing else goes on here.
left me, I'd get drunk for joy. All right, get him out of here and get him home.
and that's all that happens. So let me know down in the comments what you think. I think I found an actual Mandela effect for Porky's. You know, those of you that are familiar with the Porky movies, this will resonate with you right away. Those of you who are not, you're just going to call me an asshole. So, yeah, that's it for Hebrew 77. I'll see you guys next time. Play me to the desk, Paul.